Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. This is a special emergency podcast because something big happened in the PBA on Sunday, June 16, 2024. The Meralco Bolts finally won their first ever franchise championship, and I think this will be a league defining day for the Philippine Basketball Association for many reasons. And we're going to get into that. We're going to explain why this might be the refreshing change the PBA needs, but also at the same time, we are going to slightly break down what happened, how Meralco won Game 6. In my opinion, Game 6 for Meralco was like their version of a Game 7 in this series, and they got the job done. Chris Newsom with the shot of a lifetime, the shot that you dream of as a kid growing up. He did it. He got the job done late in the game. The team played awesome. The Bolts are PBA champions. They're no longer the bridesmaids. They're the PBA champions. And for the podcast tonight, I am prepared. Nagaraya, got some chips from Hong Kong. I got lemon juice. I got mints. I got a glass of red wine. I should have finished like 30 minutes ago. And I got my Hershey's chocolate bar, my mini Hershey's chocolate bar. I also got my notes. Many of you remember my notes from the last episode, the UP LaSalle segment. I got some notes here and I'm ready to go. And I'm bringing on Nico for this episode. So, without further ado, welcome to another episode of the Nabs Effect podcast. Nico,
What's up,
hey, what's
Nabs?
up? How are you
What's up,
doing?
man?
Did you enjoy that game?
Masaya. Masaya, bro. Like, sobrang saya kasi It's, again, you said it's a refreshing take dito sa PBA. There are so much storylines going for Meralco, especially Chris Newsom. Great job on the PBA setting that up, showing Meralco's finishes throughout the years, starting 2016 ata. And then, Chris Newsom has always been that guy na never nananalo, Ateneo days pa. So you just imagine how great this championship was for him. And then you saw all the heartbreaks from all the game winners from Justin Brownlee to always falling short. But now it's just a complete full circle. They waited so long, and this is the first title for Meralco, for the Filipino. So and it's also now if you check the chat, the group chats, not just in our group chat, but a lot of group chats from others, very positive about the PBA. Very basketball-centric yung usapan. Di ba? Naka-center siya sa what happened in this play, ano nangyari dyan. It's a discourse that you only see in the NBA. We haven't seen this discourse in the PBA for years. Literally years. And in a way, ganda ng mga photos, di ba? You can see the emotion and in a way, they were the team of the Philippines, at least just for tonight. They were uh they captured the hearts of everybody. You can see it everywhere in all the groups, all basketball groups. Everybody enjoyed. Marami nagsasabi, this PBA finals is better than the NBA finals right now. And I agree. Kasi grabe yung drama eh. Na-set up talaga nila eh. And hopefully the league catapults from here kasi mag-50th anniversary na in 2 years. 49th season starts in August. So, ang ganda. Ang ganda na simula. Set it up till the 50th anniversary. And I'm not saying na stop after the 50th anniversary. I'm just saying that this is the time to capitalize on the interest till the 50th, then build off from there na. You can say na namatay yung league nung start. Even Commissioner Willie was concerned about the lack of and he voices
Parity.
it out publicly. Not not only that, yung attendance.
Mm-mm.
Yung attendance sa arena, nakatabi ko si Coach Willie, si Com Willie in a game. I was waiting to, like I was just waiting. I was just watching. Katabi ko si Com Willie and he was telling the players in a Gabe Norwood, hey Gabe, post kayo ng mga games na post nyo na may game kayo. We gotta get people in the seats. Like I was literally beside them. So kita mo na he's really concerned na
Mm.
and it's nice to see na this is going good for the PBA. Not only for Com Willie and the staff, no. It's also for us who work with the PBA, us media rin, who want to cover the professional league of the
Mm.
Philippines. And it's a good win, a good rare win for the PBA. But I'm hopeful na this is going to be a string of wins. Sana.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. The crowd attendance, amazing. The Meralco fan support, San Miguel fan support. it wasn't one of those moments where you could see the crowd filled to the brim. It wasn't like the Gen ad was like completely filled at
Yeah,
Araneta as well, but
hindi siya parang
we got all
PBL.
the way to
It's a
upper
start.
box.
Yeah, upper
And
box was
if you
good.
look,
SO,
yeah, yeah, and if you look at the online numbers, bro, the highlights, the views of the
dami,
highlights on
dami.
YouTube, on
Mataas,
One Sports, hundreds of
mataas.
thousands of
Madami.
views, digital, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the reactions, the pages of the teams or the PBA itself, ang taas ng number of likes, number of engagement, the
Yes.
reach, and then
Mm-mm.
also you're feeling that there's more chatter about the games, like in our Navs Effect group chat, community group chat on Messenger. This conference, more than any of the last few conferences, a lot of people were really into this finals, and it was exciting. And you're right, it was more entertaining than the NBA finals. The didn't maybe have the star power of the NBA Finals. No Luca, no Tatum. But in terms of competition, close games, close calls, game winners, dramatic finishes, what's on the line, it was special in its own right. Meralco, I mean, they've been in the PBA since 2011. Five finals appearances, 14 semifinals appearances, and finally, they get the job done. They defeat San Miguel. This game six to me was reminiscent of that game seven against Ginebra in the semifinals, where Meralco's defense really led the way. Okay, I'm going to say what I told you guys in our group chat here, where, in my opinion, this was the Bulls' game seven. Game six was their game seven. I felt that if San Miguel had won tonight, Sunday, and forced the game seven a few days later, the Beermen, because of their experience in the finals, in game sevens, and the Bolts being so close and then coming up short so many times, I think that would have favored the Beermen. So when you saw Meralco get off to a very quick start, Chris Banchero making 8 out of their first 9 points, you have to give credit to Banchero. He finished the game with 10 points, 5 of 8 shooting. But the way he started the contest, scoring those 8 of first 9 points, really set the tone and allowed Meralco the runway to build that early lead. Now, predictably, San Miguel was going to come back because that's what championship contenders do. That's what elite teams do. And San Miguel did come back. And then ultimately, because of that early cushion that Meralco built, I felt that allowed them to have the confidence to keep playing, and tell themselves, let's just keep them at bay. We know they're gonna come back, but if we don't let them take the lead, or even if they do take the lead and the Beermen don't build it up to like 5 or 6 points, we're fine. We're gonna figure it out at the end. Our defense is good enough that we're going to figure it out. And like was the case in Game 7 against Ginebra in the semis, they did it again here in the finals against San Miguel, limiting the San Miguel Beermen to 78 points after San Miguel had north of 100 points in the last game. And this time around, let's look at the numbers some more. Let me put that on the screen real quick so the others and the viewers can watch this and see this as well. San Miguel, total from the field, just 35%, Nico. In a game they lost by just 2 points, San Miguel shot 35% from the field. You know what's more concerning there? Look at the free throws. 22 out of 35 from the free throw line. And 9 out of those misses came from Fajardo and Tautua. So in a 2 point game, just imagine you look back at the numbers and you're like, God, I wish that we made those free throws somewhere. I know maybe someone from San Miguel is saying that right now because it was a close game, and in the close games, that's when you really look at the margins and you realize a little bit here, a little bit there, and maybe they could have figured it out. Another point I want to say: the last time we did a podcast about this topic, we discussed how Meralco was eating up San Miguel in second chance points opportunities. Today, game six, 16 offensive boards for the Bulls, which led to 16 second chance points. Now, San Miguel, to their favor, they did have 23 offensive rebounds as well and 22 second chance points. They did beat Meralco in that regard. However, the Bolts, their hustle plays, their effort plays, their second chance opportunities, multiple possessions. We haven't really seen a team, in my opinion, that's done this to San Miguel in the All Filipino Conference in a while, because this has been a conference San Miguel has dominated. And Meralco just brought the fight to them. Norbert Torres, you have to give him credit too. I felt he had a solid first half, 6 points. He did have those two 3 pointers. Ended up with a -9, but I thought he did better than the numbers show. I thought Raymond Almasan was important again. 9 points, 10 boards. And of course, Brandon Bates just doing Brandon Bates stuff. 19 minutes, just 3 points, but 6 boards. And why am I not surprised? He was a +3. positive impact on the court. Just a game changer. So for 48 minutes, Meralco had Bates, Almazan, a little bit of Norbert Torres, and of course Cliff Hodge doing Cliff Hodge things to irritate San Miguel and make it not too easy for them to use that physicality advantage that they've utilized for so long now. Cliff Hodge, 6 points, 6 boards in 27 minutes. And towards the end of the game, Hodge and Newsom really closed it out. I'm looking at the timestamps here. Hodge jumper 75-68. Newsom jumper 77-71. Newsom free throw 78-73. Fajardo ties the game 78 all, and then Newsom hits the game winner. For the Meralco long tenured players to be the ones to close this out, and Andrew Karam also had these moments in the first half, including that long 3-pointer. I mean, it's just, especially the Newsom game winner, it feels like such strong symbolism, and I'm just so happy that New got that moment.
Yeah, man, and Chris Newsom. Oh, not only Chris Newsom, Nabs. Si ano din, Cliff Hodge. I think si Cliff Hodge yung longest tenured na 0-6 ata. May pinakitang graphic kanina, diba? Yung lahat sila 0-4, 0-2, 0-5. Si Cliff Hodge yung pinakamatagal, and kudos to them for sticking around. I'm sure dumaan yan sa utak nila na maybe Meralco's not it for me. Diba? Like, you could think na where's the best opportunity for me to be a champion. But all the numbers pointed to Meralco winning, to be honest. Like, if we're gonna be technical here na, no? 4 and 6 ata yung San Miguel whenever they score below 100 points. Out of those 6, 5 losses came from Meralco. So para
San Miguel San Miguel lost 5 times to Meralco, beat them
this
2
season.
times, and then beat this conference and beat every other team 10 times. I
Oh.
mean,
Oh.
wow,
Wala.
right?
Kitang kryptonite nila, kryptonite. We gotta credit Coach Luigi and Coach Nenad. Nag-focus tayo sa players, but now we gotta give kudos to the coaches. What a masterclass, no? Like, gets mo rin talaga bakit si Nenad was Coach Tabs. Not to undermine Coach Nenad. Sasabi ko lang yung the line where he came from. Coach Tabs, right-hand man. Now he is.
So we're now in the era of where head coach and consultant work hand in hand together. It's a success
They did
story
work
now,
in hand
right?
in hand together, yeah. And
Man,
I told you in a different podcast, not yung previous recording natin na si Coach Luigi credited Coach Nenan na gave him a credit the reason why they beat Hinebra was Coach Nenan's offensive schemes and other schemes. Kasi ano sila I think their offense and defense when it comes to working hand in hand kasi sobrang good fit nila. And grabe yung preparation ng Meralco, Navs. Grabe yung preparation ng Meralco per practice. I don't know naman anong nangyari sa San Miguel camp, Navs. I have a feeling na they kind of underestimated Meralco heading into this game.
you think so? You think
Into
so?
this series. Guess na to. This is just for my opinion. I'm not sure if their
Mm.
practices are enough to combat Meralco. They would think that they can outpower them, outshoot them. Because if you look at the lineup of San Miguel Navs, this is a purely offensive team. They're not as balanced as we think. CJ Perez, yes, led the league in steals, pero they really just aim to outscore you, overwhelm you with their might. But when it comes to a two-way team, that's Meralco. Kompleto Meralco eh. So,
Bro,
in a way,
Chris Ross,
this
16 minutes.
yeah, I was gonna go there. They played Simon Enciso too late, Nabs. They could have played Simon Enciso as early as game 2. Because Chris Ross
Mm-hmm.
was a liability throughout this whole series. Simon Enciso showed in his 22 minutes a while ago that he can hang. Pero parang, feel ko parang hindi siya as trusted ni Coach George compared to Chris Ross. Right? I don't know.
Best player in this series not named Junmar Fajardo is Chris Newsom, in my opinion.
Yeah. The Finals MVP, Chris Newsom, that's
Finals
a
MVP.
given. X Factor was Alain. Alain
Mm.
Maliksi was the one that kind of made it a Meralco in 6. Because if Maliksi didn't have that explosion last game, I feel like baka Meralco in 7 or SMB in 7. It would reach game 7 kung Maliksi disappeared. But yeah, daming, if you think na the technicalities, no, doon mo na naisip, shit, kung naglaro si Enciso mas maaga, tapos wala si Vic Manuel kanina, Nabs.
Jeron Teng also played like, what, 2 minutes lang?
2 minutes lang kanina.
And
Yeah.
this guy, MVP in the screen right now, I'm sure he's probably thrilled. I mean, talk and
What?
text, champion a few times now. Meralco wins the first championship. I mean, what a day for him. What a day for the
Although,
PBA.
Navs, I feel like if you ask MVP right now, like sabihin natin nandun ka katabi mo, if you ask him ano yung pinaka masarap na siya, I feel like sasagot niya ito. Yung TNT kasi, TNT teams niya are expected to win. Nung
Mm,
may RHJ ka, you have a Mikey Williams that time, the last time they won, they were expected to win. Ito, this is a Meralco team that lost to NLEX in the regular season, pero natatalo tong Meralco team na to sa they lost to Converge. They lost to Converge. This Meralco team in the regular season.
yeah, bro,
And I mean
it's
regular season
nuts.
lang to.
Yeah, it I was just gonna say it makes me so happy because I've known Paulo Trillo, team manager of Meralco, for a long time now. I've known
How so?
Luigi, Coach Luigi. When I was covering the PBA back
Mm.
then, he was already the
Mm.
manager. You know what's crazy? You know what's so crazy, Nico? Before Topex Robinson got the head coaching job of LaSalle,
Luigi was ano,
Luigi
no?
was one of the late
Ooh.
candidates that many of the DLSU alumni were pushing for because he's from LaSalle, diba?
Luigi.
And he's green-blooded.
Yeah.
And I think there was even a point where Meralco might have been aware that Luigi might leave because this job from LaSalle was there. But ultimately, it didn't end up happening because Topex was the first candidate in the job search, and LaSalle gave it to Topex because yun nga, he was the first guy that they thought of, and he was the first guy to interview. And I mean, not the first guy to interview, but the first guy they really targeted. Luigi came later on, so it was like timing to some degree. And I remember Luigi was, not exactly sad and disappointed, but at the same time, it was something he was looking forward to, potentially joining the DLSU Green Archers. And it didn't happen. Look at the way it worked out. Luigi gets the Meralco job. Topex wins a championship with LaSalle in his first season. Luigi wins his first championship as a head coach in a while. Becomes the head coach, the first head coach, champion head coach of Meralco in the PBA. I mean, it's just so funny. What a sliding doors moment. And it's just crazy how fate plays all these games. And now here we are. A few things I want to say before we get onto the other topics here. Bong Quinto, again, this guy just comes up with big plays when you need him to. He is unafraid. There was one play where I don't know who he bodied, but he bodied someone from San Miguel in the post and scored on him. And he just looked like a guy who did not have any fear for anyone. The numbers don't reflect the efficiency, 11 points and 11 shots, but still, I thought he was superb this series. That big shot by Marshall Lassiter that ended up not counting in the third quarter, down where the ball was still in his hands. Did you see that part by any chance?
Mm. Yeah,
Oh my god! Imagine
definitely.
now. I mean, I don't want to make basketball so simple. Like if this had gone in, then this would have been the result because things would have happened differently. But just imagine a 2 point loss. You think about how a few milliseconds could make the difference of whether or not a three ball goes in, and then you look at the final score, you can't help but think, right, what would have happened. I thought there was a moment there we were going to see a Terrence Romeo scoring explosion to win San Miguel game 6 in the third quarter. And
I
then I
mean,
looked at the stats. I mean, Terrence had
hanap
9 points in 13 minutes, but also a minus 18 in 13 minutes. So not exactly the most efficient
seryoso
game.
nga, no?
Yeah,
Wow, he's a
yeah.
minus
It's
18.
minus
Last game,
18. Yeah,
minus 16 siya game 5.
man.
Minus 16, minus 19, parang
It's
ganun.
it's it's a it's a defense. You could see them targeting him also once
Siya
he
nga.
was out there in
Siya
the
nga
court.
tina-target.
And by the way,
Yeah.
Meralco, the first team since Coca-Cola in 2002, 22 years ago,
Mm.
to win their first championship in the All Filipino Conference. So what a moment for the Bolts franchise. What a moment for this team. What a moment for that head coach. A bunch of just likable guys in that staff. Even assistant coach Sandro Soriano, one of their analytics guy, one of
Go
the
Ateneo.
hardest working guys in Philippine basketball. Yes, one of Ateneo's bright young stars in that coaching staff, and now with Meralco as well. So for all of them to achieve this, and it goes back to my point of how this is great for the PBA. And I don't want this to sound like disrespect to San Miguel because I have nothing but the utmost respect for everything San Miguel has accomplished. The fact that we're saying that Meralco winning this over San Miguel is great for the PBA shows how great San Miguel has been over the last decade, just dominating this conference, winning championship after championship after championship. But at a certain point, Nico, if we want to watch something predictable, if we want to watch something where we knew what the final result would be or have an idea of what would happen at the end, we would log on to Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or somewhere instead and watch a show, right? If sports, the heart of sports is competition, you don't want to see absolute dominance over and over again. At least in my opinion, I don't want to see that. That's why I love the stage where we are at in the NBA as well. I can't remember the last time you had five different NBA champions in as many years, right? 2020 was Lakers, 2021 was Bucks, 2022 Warriors, 2023 Nuggets, last season 2024 Celtics or Mavs, probably Celtics. And then the PBA, it's been Nebra, San Miguel. Maybe you'll get some
TNT.
talk and text there. Then again, Ginebra, San Miguel, Ginebra, San Miguel. Okay, maybe talk and text or Magnolia will make a finals, make things interesting. Ginebra, San Miguel. Now Meralco made the finals, and you're like, yeah, they beat Ginebra. Wow, that's awesome. That's gonna be great for stories. But then in the finals, San Miguel's gonna beat them in like 5 or 6 games, maybe 7. But no, Meralco beat them in 6 games, and Meralco
Baliktad
could have been
yung
up three
lumalabas.
zero if they did not blow a late lead in game 2. The only game where I say that Meralco was vastly outplayed was last game. No, no, no. 2 games ago when San Miguel tied the series, game 4. But other than that, it's been a not a one-sided affair, but it's been actually Meralco that has been clearly the better team, and I'm glad that the final result shows that because now they're the champions, and it's a great day for the PBA because now you're gonna see many more new Meralco fans. You're gonna see people watching the league thinking, okay, maybe we can see another upset like this in another conference. That's something to look forward to. You're gonna have players from other teams and coaches from other teams thinking, why can't we do what they did? I saw Tyler Teo, the NBA Hennessy event on Saturday, June 15, and I was talking to him about this Bolts run. I also saw Ken Tuffin a few days ago at the Phil Oil Finals, and I mentioned about the Bolts, and they both play for Phoenix, and they're like, yeah, hopefully we can do what Meralco does. I mean, we got to the semis last conference. Maybe if we get to the finals and we play well, we can win a championship too. And you think, actually, wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be great? And wouldn't that get people watching the PBA again? Because at the heart of everything, so many people have complained and said their different things about the PBA. The trades are unfair. Alam mo na ano mangyayari.
Warranted naman.
Same old,
Warranted.
same old.
Gets
Warranted,
mo natin.
the people in charge are in control, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, I think people, what they just mean is they want to see quality competition and they want to see underdogs or other teams also show that they have the chance and what it takes to win. And we saw that with the Bulls. And I think that is why this is a very, very important moment right now for where the league is going.
Share ko lang, Nabs, no, kanina. I was just searching on Facebook. Naghahanap ako ng nakasubscribe ako sa Pilipinas Live, pero naghahanap ako ng illegal stream kanina kasi gusto ko lang makita yung how many viewers are watching. Bro, 250K. That's one stream. Hindi ko sinasabi na dapat doon na lang kayo. Sasabi ko lang na how many people are nakatutok, 'di ba? And that's only just that stream. What more yung mga nasa Pilipinas Live? What more yung nanonood sa RP TV, yung free TV, yung ano nila, yung non-cable, 'di ba? So everybody was watching. And tama, I agree. It's really the competition. People love to see great competition. Si Brandon, just people na pamahal sila sa mga characters ng Meralco talaga. Like the role players, they know na without those guys, hindi sila mananalo eh. And I wanted to say this, like, going back, naging technical ulit. I can't help it, but are we gonna see a Coach Leo Austria comeback? I hope. This is my opinion, opinion ko lang
I
to.
like where
Wala akong
you're
alam.
going with this.
Wala akong alam. I
Clairvoyant
just
Nico.
kasi dito respect to Coach George, but this showed na what Leo Austria did during his time as a head coach was no easy task. You cannot just be like, oh, sige, dump natin yung bola to Junmar. Okay na tayo. Oh, CJ, ikaw naman. Parang gano'n yung nangyari ngayong finals. Eh. Wala masyadong adjustments. Or may
Yeah.
adjustments late na.
I,
So,
I get that. And I am a huge fan of Coach Leo, who, other than being a great basketball coach, is a great guy. But I think the composition of the team has changed also over the years, diba? Napansin mo din, like, the old San Miguel dynasty had Arwind, Alex Cabagnot, Chris Ross in his prime, Lassiter in his prime, Junmar Fajardo before the injuries. Iba yung team na yun eh. That was a dynasty. And I think now you're seeing some of the remnants of that dynasty slowly fading away, like Chris Ross's minutes going down. Marcio Lassiter still showing he can play well, but maybe not being super efficient anymore. Arwin isn't there anymore. Alex isn't there anymore. Junmar is still great. I mean, that 3-point shot he hit to tie the game. What the
May patira
freaking
naman talaga.
freak,
Wow,
right?
ano talaga yun? That's a pang TV show. TV show. Ay talaga like
Bro,
it's pang documentary. Kung gagawa ka ng Meralco
I
documentary,
know.
ito na yun. Ito na yun.
Oh my god. And then the Newsom game winner
Ganda.
after. Anyway, so yeah, but then would they bring back Coach Leo? I mean, but they also won a championship last conference, so that
They
might.
had Benny fucking Boatwright. That is a Gilas level import. Cheat code yun, man. Benny and Junmar. Saka magpo-focus. Kailan mo yung double team yung dalawa. At least one guy. Diba? Benny Boatwright they
Hmm.
call him a 6'10 Clay. Kung tinatawag ka na sarili mong teammate 6'10 Clay, grabe yun. Benny Boatwright was a dead shot. Mas dead shot pa siya kay Marcio. So, Nabs,
I
hindi ko
know,
na,
definitely. I get what you're saying, and that's why I love the All Filipino Conference. I really do.
masaya
It's so
yung
unique.
Pilipino
It's
eh,
so
no? Unique talaga
Masaya.
yung
Eh.
beta.
You can get away with still beating a team with a
Import.
better FSA in college.
Ah,
Because in
okay.
college, medyo sabog ng konti yung placements and it's a little bit disorganized. Anything goes, diba? And the players aren't
Ah,
mentally there yet as pros. But when you're a
oo.
pro and you know your import is superior over the other team's import, they're gonna
Set
find
him
a
up
way to
lang eh.
capitalize on
Set him
that.
up
Yeah,
lang. Oo.
exactly. That's why the All Filipino Conference is so special. But yes, just great for the PBA. And then we have a great core coming in, a great set of new players coming in the PBA draft. Makes me so excited. In case you all missed it, I'm going to put it up in the screen in a bit. I made an announcement a few days ago on All Star Magazine. I wrote an article about it that three guys are entering the PBA draft: Francis Escandor, CJ Payawal, and DJ Mitchell. Those are three interesting guys. What do you think of those three? Quick thoughts.
DJ Mitchell, I've been following the Manila Star. So, Escandor and Mitchell nakikita ko. Mitchell's a good, what do you call this now? So if you need a bucket, bigyan nyo kay Mitchell. So, he can get you the bucket. He's like Simon Enciso, Navs. Like, same vibes, si Simon Enciso, si DJ Mitchell. And I'm sure may market siya sa PBA. Second, third round pick maybe. Escandor, you need a shooter. Ganun pa rin role niya sa Manila Stars. He's their designated shooter. Halos wala nang iba. I'm just saying na he's sticking to his strengths. And you always need shooters in this generation. In this time. Like PBA, NBA, EuroLeague, you need shooters. Si CJ Payawal na-enjoy ko yan sa UE. It's just a matter of saan siya
I
mag-fit.
think he's
Dude,
gonna
I
be a
hope
very good pro, pare. I think so.
CJ can
I
be a
mean,
first round pick feel ko.
he's 6'4", decent three
Isn't he
point shot, can
6'7"?
play deep. No, no,
Payawal?
six
Or
four,
six?
six five.
Oh,
I
6'4",
think.
6'5".
Yeah,
He's big kasi. Very
decent
cut.
decent 3-point shot, good defense, can slide his feet, athletic. I think those are the three. I mean, that's the guy when I think of. I'm like, you can put him in any PBA team right now, and he can be a 3 and D player.
Yeah. And may interesting yung PBA draft this year because we're still waiting on the Balti news. Hindi pa natin alam. But if ever Balti decides to declare, hindi pa siya nag-declare officially wala pang news. But
Not
if
yet,
ever he decide,
exactly.
yeah, wala pa. If ever he decides to declare, I feel like Converge is the favorite. I mean, meron sa PBA kasi hindi naman lottery It's worst record gets number one pick. Balti would slide in to Converge. Perfect fit siya dun sa lineup na yun. And I feel like Converge could be a playoff team.
Converge
Mark
will
my
have the number
words.
one pick, right?
Yeah. So, most likely number one pick mo si Balti. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
Balti na
if
yan. I mean,
the only guy who can top Balti is Kai Soto. Like, because Carl's gonna go to KBL. Like,
yeah,
may
Kai's
talks
not.
of
I don't think
KBL.
Kai's going to the PBA
Yun,
unless something drastic
sinasabi ko.
happens. Yeah.
Yun, yeah, if it's Kai who declares, malamang, one si Kai, lagay mo sa two si Balti. But we're realistic. So Balti get mo the first pick and Navs the PBA sa August will be crazier kasi you're gonna get Tyler Teo back with Phoenix. Phoenix kasi bumaba yung laro nila nung nawala si Tyler eh. He's very
Ken
involved sa
Tuffin was
offense
really
nila.
good. I liked what Tuffin was doing for them
Oo.
also. But ultimately, the big picture thing here is excitement is there for the PBA, and they need to
Yeah,
ride this
exactly.
momentum. They need
Oo,
to ride this
oo.
wave and make it like extra fun, right?
Yes. Tapos, we're gonna see even more tighter competition by August.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
gonna get
sir.
crazy. It's gonna get crazier. Converge is gonna be competitive. Phoenix is gonna be competitive. And Lex will have another season of trying to maximize Robert Bolick and with a new coach. Alam mo naman, 'di ba? Like whenever you have a new coach, it's always you're
My fresh vibes,
rejuvenated.
yeah.
It's a fresh start, fresh na
Yes, sir.
like
Yes, sir.
mindset.
Listen,
So,
before all of that, I'm hoping
yeah.
Meralco will waive our electricity bills, though. Come on,
Get this month.
come on,
Get
Meralco.
this month.
Help the people out. Give the people what they want. You guys want a championship. Now give us free electricity. Hopefully, one can dream. But yeah, that was fun, and I can't wait to talk more PBA in
Mm,
the future. I
mm,
hope to cover the league again soon because this has been exciting, very exciting. We're gonna do a live corner, first one in a while. A lot of people enjoyed that segment when we were doing it last UAP season, so I want to bring that back. But first, I want to talk to all of you about a partnership that the NBA and Hennessy is doing right now. We'll put it on the screen. Mitchell and Ness, one of the most iconic streetwear brands in the world today, partnering up with the NBA, with Hennessy, to come up with some items you might be interested: shorts, jersey, hoodie, fanny pack. Here's more about their partnership coming up. It's great. I want to thank NBA Hennessy for the invite to Saturday's event at SM Mega Mall. Super fun, of course. There were cocktails, there were games, there were events, there were people to catch up with. Always a great time. And of course, they did it so well. If you guys drink Hennessy, check out the limited edition bottle that they have and make sure to get yourselves one, either to drink or to keep as a collector's item in the future. Why not, right? I'm going to post some content about that soon enough also. So stay tuned to my socials. I will tell you more about the project and the campaign and what's going to go on. Nico, Life Corner, go first, bro.
I'm just thinking like, so walang PBA for 2 months. Kind of free right now, no? Like, naisip ko na, what can I do sa sports media? More of ganon, like, my break na 2 months, right? So, got me thinking, anything that I could do, mga side quest, pwede gawin. That's, hopefully, got to work with brands more during these 2 months. It's always been the same for me. I still work with NLEX. Tapos there's a lot of getting to volleyball lately. Actually, meron ano eh, yung sa Puso Pilipinas Nav, yung I wanted to work as a producer there for like the Volleyball Nations League. So most likely I'm gonna try crafting stories. But sa ano naman, volleyball side. So it's a new challenge. That's a new challenge for me. Tapos it's a healthy challenge. Tapos hopefully I can be able to create stories na sa volleyball side na to the same effect na I do with my basketball. So, yeah, yun lang naman. More of diving into volleyball and practice commentating for volleyball games. Like simulation, gumagawa.
Nice.
Kailangan to get better. And na-enjoy ko rin
Yeah,
kasi. Na-enjoy ko
push
rin
for
kasi.
it. Keep aiming
Oo.
higher, keep
May
going
oras eh.
stronger
May
if you
oras
have the
eh.
abilities.
Walang PBA for 2 months eh. So parang may
Yeah.
oras talaga eh.
Yeah, I hope to get to cover PVL a little bit next conference.
It's a crazy
The
fan base now. It's
the
crazy,
draft
crazy fan
looks
base.
the draft looks very interesting with the names of the
Oo.
players there from the volleyball scene in the UAP. We're going to cover it for All Star. We are going to have a stringer helping us out, so we're going to have some covers. So guys, read that in our content, and of course, check out what Nico is going to do because if he will dive deep into the volleyball scene of things, it's going to be adventurous, I'm sure, given what he's already done with basketball. So good job, Nico, and more power to you. Of course, for me, it's something
Mm,
simple. I've been working out a lot more again recently. I used to
mm,
work out a lot during the pandemic, right before I got married. I would say about maybe 4 to 5 times a week back then. But then after that, things dwindled down. I got busy, travel, this and that, yada, 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 all the excuses in the world that I could really come up of and use as a reason. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to working out, it's either you get that done or you do not, right? It's either you make the time to get your workout done for the day or you don't. And you can't do that whole twice a week, 3 times a week. You start, you stop. You're just gonna hurt yourself in the process because your body is gonna get all messed up with what's happening, right? And more often than not, sometimes you might end up gaining weight because you're eating more because you're working out, but you're not doing it enough. But you think you're working out enough that you can eat more, and then suddenly, boom, your pants don't fit. So I've experienced that a little bit the last few months, and getting back in the working out side of things 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and really shifting it up, lifting weights, running. I'm finding my love for running again. I used to run a ton when I was in high school. Basketball, boxing, doing boxing again. So much fun. Really mixing it up helps. And just doing it consistently. If you say to yourself that it's going to be something you have to do every single day, no matter what, it is part of your calendar every day, no matter what. Give yourself 2 weeks and you're going to love that as part of your calendar. And you're going to realize if you have lost your love for working out, why you fell in love with it in the first place. So, based on my experience so far, I'm no workout expert. I'm just saying I just love it because of the vibes and the endorphins I get afterwards and how it makes me feel after. I highly recommend it. If you have the time and the capability to improve your health, improve your fitness, even just baby steps, little steps along the way, you have to do it. You have to do it.
I agree, man. Iba yung ano talaga para go workout. Iba yung feeling na after, mamatay ka lang during, pero after you're like, yeah, buti ginawa ko to.
Tama, tama. Well, Nico, I appreciate your time. I know it's late. I'm about to go watch Caitlin
That
Clark
was
kick
fun. That was
Angel
fun.
Reese's ass.
Ano
um,
kasi laro? Ano kasi laro ng Chicago Sky and Indiana
midnight,
Fever?
midnight.
Oh, it's kind of fun.
Anyway,
Sige,
we
I'll
need to
catch up
watch
now.
that for sure. Yeah,
For a
it's a
different
holiday
topic,
anyway.
yeah. Oh,
But no, yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining me. Congratulations to the Bolts. Congratulations to Meralco fans. Meralco, please give us free electricity bills at least for 1 month. That would be highly appreciated. Thank you to the producer of this podcast, Jason Carrillo. Thanks to Nico. Thanks to all the viewers. Appreciate you all. Much love. See you all in the next episode.